Welcome back to the Club Call-In Show. If you want to chat some gas with Rory, Adam and myself, make sure you click the link down below in the Discord. We're going to go straight into it. Callum, big Liverpool fan. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, superb, mate. Superb. Yeah, fresh year. New Year's resolutions, mate. 2026 is a fresh start for everyone.
Well, I think you need a fresh start because I think Guardiola is going to leave at the end of the season.
What are your conspiracy theorists?
I don't think it's a conspiracy. It's pretty legit.
He's got an 18-month contract.
Fire.
He's got an 18-month contract, hasn't he? So.
Well, there's been a lot of rumours about City talking to Maresca and assessing their options. And that to me says that they're preparing for Pep leaving.
I think that Manchester City are a very well-run organisation. They're probably preparing for it anyway, aren't they? They're like at some point it's going to happen.
In a potential case, yeah.
Like he's not going to be there in 5 years, so at some point it's going to happen. And I think the way that City operate is that they are putting out fires before a flame is even lit. So they are presumably thinking about their next move.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah, but also like how long is Guardiola really going to stay at City? Like he's not going to extend his contract again. Surely that's fair to say.
I think there's a decent chance he does that. It's not the most likely outcome. If we were doing this call 4 years ago, I'd say to you genuinely, the most likely outcome is a contract extension. I can't say that anymore, but it still is a possibility. It's a minority shout, but it is a possibility. But if Luis Enrique is on the precipice, he obviously got offered a lifetime contract with PSG. Something that I thought he was actually going to sign because it makes so much sense.
Can't say no, can you?
No,
I felt like it was one of those. You can't say no.
And I think he's turned it down from my understanding today.
Turned it down, yeah.
So that makes me think, go on, guys, get Luis Enrique. Go big, go bold. Don't be cautious. Don't get Enzo Maresca, who's Pep Guardiola light. Diet Pep Guardiola. Come on. You need a big name.
It should work out well. If Guardiola sees his contract out. So I think what Callum's saying here is that he's going to leave. Callum, do you think he's going to leave this summer?
Yeah, definitely.
That would probably mean you don't get Luis Enrique.
Unless something really unexpected happens, like he turns this title race around and wins it.
Why would he leave early? So
in
your opinion, why would he leave? Because he's got 18 months left on his deal, hasn't he?
Well, I actually think he's not on the decline, but he is struggling more and more to impress his influence on this City squad and really take them to the levels that they reached previously.
Give me some specifics from what you've seen the last few weeks. I'm unbiased. Yeah. I'm just asking your opinion. What you've seen on the pitch that tells you that Guardiola's managerial style and power as a top level manager is kind of flatlining?
Well, I think the fact that he's kind of resorting to the sort of tactics that we've seen from other teams with the long throws and stuff. Like against Arsenal, you guys played the most defensively I've ever seen a Guardiola team play. Played a serious low block. And I don't think Pep in his prime would ever falter away from his style.
Do you think there's any truth in that?
I don't buy that, and I'm trying to be open to you, Callum, because I'm interested in your opinion. Is there anything in the most recent games? I'm saying there's 3 draws that you can pick apart. Like I'll be honest, without being biased, the Arsenal game, that City side was shattered, mate. Honestly, it was a fatigue thing.
But what about taking it away from an individual game and just thinking about the point that he's making, right? So he's basically saying, Callum's point here is, he isn't trying to instill a philosophy in the players. A philosophy is a long-term project.
Fine, yeah.
The fact that he isn't trying to build the Guardiola ball, he is just trying to win a league in the most...
Are you seeing that against Chelsea, against Brighton? Is that kind of the point from the Arsenal game at the Emirates expanded into most recently? Which maybe Callum's right. It's like there is no philosophy.
Some of the signings, there's no philosophy. Some of the signings don't...
Donnarumma?
Donnarumma is a good example of somebody that doesn't necessarily conform to the way that Pep Guardiola sees football, if we understand Pep Guardiola correctly, unless he's just evolved, unless he's become something else, which he has done in his career.
Football does change. I don't think you can play tick-a-tack football at the moment because the nature of football is direct. You look at someone like Declan Rice, the lung-busting runs, the long throws, the corners. If Arsenal win the Premier League title this season, it's down to this physical oppression they put on sides. They pin them back for 15, 20 minutes at a stage. I think he has to adapt. So the long throws, I don't necessarily buy either, but I do look at Donnarumma, and it is a touch concern in his form in the last few weeks.
I feel that what City need is to make sure that Guardiola does stay just to the end of his contract, sees his contract out, and then you can bring in Luis Enrique. The problem is, if he leaves early, if he leaves in the summer, then you're going to have to bring in a manager. Enrique's going to stay at Paris for another year, which means you have to bring
What if he can come now? Would you swap him now? I'd take the risk now.
You take the long-term shot, but I think Enrique wants to see out his Paris contract out of honour. But what about this? Is Pep Guardiola more likely to stay at City this year and see the contract out if they win the league or if they don't win it? So if they don't win it, you could argue that he's more likely to stay because he wants to go out on a high. But equally, if he doesn't win it, most managers go out losers, don't they?
Well, he's never not won back-to-back title. He's never gone back-to-back seasons without winning a league title in his entirety of his career. That's
a record that will really matter to him.
So there's been I think one season with Mourinho at Real Madrid when he was at Barcelona. He won 3 out of 4 league titles. Then he won 3 out of 3 in Bayern.
God.
And he's missed 2 different seasons, single seasons spread apart at Manchester City.
So at Barcelona, he won. Apart from that season that Mourinho won the league, he won the league every year.
I think he won 3 out of 4 years, 2 Champions Leagues out of 4 years,
and then a hat trick in Munich,
straight for Bayern.
And then here, there's been the anomalies.
The first season was Conte. Then he wins 2. Then Liverpool. Then he wins 4.
Yeah.
Then he loses.
Then Liverpool again. Yeah.
And there we go.
Okay. Interesting, Callum.
What
do you reckon, Callum? Final word goes to you. Pep Guardiola leaves. Who will be the Man City manager?
It has to be Luis Enrique. I think if you go for Maresca, you'll be in big trouble in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. Great call, Callum.
Mate. I like him.
Don't start this PR.
I do.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
No,
everyone watching this.
I like the style of football you had at prime Chelsea in the last couple of years. You played some decent football.
Prime Chelsea. What about just before we let you go, Callum? Arne Slot. Yeah. We're talking about Pep Guardiola. You've been quite creative. You're a Liverpool fan. Will Arne Slot be Liverpool manager going into the new season?
I think in a very similar vein, there's a lot of signs that the club are happy to part ways at the end of the season. They don't want to sack him midway through when there's not an obvious replacement. I think we have to go all in for Enrique in the summer, and I think Slot will be leaving.
Wow. Well, that means that he can't be the next. Didn't you say he'll be the next Man City manager, though, Enrique?
Well, no, he should be, but
you think Liverpool?
He's not going to Liverpool.
If Guardiola stays, I think we will go heavy on him.
City a far bigger project than Liverpool. Far more exciting project than Liverpool. Seriously,
mate. Great, Callum. Sure. Callum, it's a great call.
Seriously,
just don't bite on that.
It is.
I'll try not to.
Not a bigger club, better project.
Thanks for your time, Callum.
Guys.
Good call. Kicked us off well, Callum.
It's worrying times, isn't it? Something about the Brighton game was very depressing.
Yeah, I know. I do agree.
And
I think
Chelsea.
there is something worrying at City for sure. But Pep Guardiola is the perfect man to turn it around. If anyone can.
Look, I said that last season to you, didn't I? Got to an FA Cup final. He's bringing on that Argentine the young kid ahead of Jack Grealish.
Yeah. No, it is a worry for sure. Let's go back to the phone line. Speak to Hayden. Hayden, you're a Manchester United fan, right?
I am, yes.
What are you thinking in terms of the turmoil that your club are currently in?
I mean, it's nothing I'm not used to, hopefully. You know, I have hope. I'm like Adam McKola in the sense that I'm an optimist, and I believe that going forward, there is a remedy. If we can figure it out, then, you know, nothing in football is too broken or too lost. So I'm, in that mindset that it can be fixed.
Oh, sounds optimistic.
Nothing in football is broken or lost. That sounds like
he's
a poet.
Confucius.
He's Keats or something.
Confucius.
Say that again. Nothing in football is broken or lost.
I mean, I think
too broken or too lost. Some things are broken. United are broken at this moment, but they're not so broken they can't be fixed.
I don't know about that.
It's getting to the stage. It's getting to the stage
sure
where
you feel that way,
Hayden, though. Do you know what? I reckon I'm quite a good case study here because you can't accuse me of bias because I don't support United. And yet I feel like I've always said that Manchester United are the institution. They are the club. They are the biggest club. They are the club that will get the best manager. They are the team that can always beat anyone. They're always capable of winning a league. And do you know what I've had to do? I've had to redefine them. They're not what I've said they are. Like, you know, I always say that Man City are nowhere near Manchester United. And if you're a player, if you're a young player who could go to either, you always choose Manchester United. I've had to reassess that. The time has come for us to see Manchester United in a different light. They aren't the club that I see them as or have seen them as for my entire life.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I follow you guys pretty closely, so I know that you've been very consistent about that, Rory. I agree with you. Again, I think that we are broken. I think we're in a place where we have to reevaluate what expectations are. I think that we're in a moment that top four is like a trophy to us. And unfortunately, that's the case. I don't want it to be that way. But to me, that's the way that we can get back to it. I almost look at it as the way Arsenal were before Arteta got there to compare to now when he is there. Coming in top four was their goal every year. And then they went even further down. And obviously they didn't go as far down as United are or have been in the past couple of years. But when Arteta was first there, I think they came eighth two seasons in a row, and people were calling for his job. And the blueprint, though, that he had in his squad structure and how he wanted to build his team and everything, to me, that was a similar way that United can get back to the position that Arsenal are in currently, fighting for leagues, fighting for the Champions League. They haven't won it yet. I think this is the year. I have an Arsenal buddy that we go back and forth, and he's spoken to you guys too. We believe this is the year. However, you never know, and that's where you want to be, though, is fighting for that position and fighting for the title and looking like a title favorite.
I've said that at the moment it's a good time for Manchester United. I've said that getting rid of Amorim is a good thing. I think it's quite a good idea to bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be honest, as long as the long-term vision is bigger than that. If this is the template from Wilcox and Barada, if this is the idea, we're going to bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. We're going to get rid of Amorim, first of all. We're going to concede that it was a mistake. We're going to forget this sorry saga ever existed, and we're going to bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to unify the squad, to unify the fans, to make sure that Manchester United win some games and qualify for the Champions League. If then, off the back of that, you then go in the summer and you appoint Tuchel or Zidane or Enrique or someone of absolute unequivocal stature, then I think it's a good day. The problem is, what you could do is you could appoint Solskjaer and give him the job, or you could appoint Fletcher and give him the job. Or
I think it all comes down to the quality of the players. Mourinho talked about investments from the past when talking about Manchester City. When Pep Guardiola comes in, he's working with Vincent Kompany. He's working with Joe Hart, obviously kicks him out of the squad, but he's part of the squad. Aguero, David Silva, Fernandinho. These players were already there. And Pep Guardiola has that spine. Whoever, you talked about Zidane. Rightfully so, in the history of football, he should be linked to a job the size of Manchester United. He's working with Sesko. Cunha's been poor this season. He has. Let's be real. Delo, Dorgu. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But okay, you've cherry-picked the bad players there.
Casemiro. I don't think
Mason
Mount's
good.
Mason Mount's nowhere. There's a few in there.
Say Tuchel. Tuchel loved Mount, right? So say Tuchel came in.
He's injured. It doesn't even. I don't think there's any narrative around him being a consistent player.
So let's say they go for Tuchel and say things go really well. Tuchel wins a World Cup for England. I'm just painting a picture here. Firstly, Solskjaer takes Manchester United into the top four. They qualify for the Champions League, which they should do. They haven't got anything else to worry about. They're not worried about the League Cup. They're not worried about Europe. They've got nothing else on their plate.
Yeah.
So they qualify top four, top five. Tuchel wins a World Cup. They then bring in England's World Cup winning manager. He then looks at the squad and, right, you are correct in some of the players being quite uninspiring. But for every uninspiring player, there is a Bruno Fernandes. There is a
He's leaving. He'll be leaving. I think he'll be leaving. Casemiro's no good,
Okay, Amad Diallo.
I don't take that, Ross. I don't. When Tuchel came into your side, give me 5 or 6. What, Kante?
Yeah, Kante, Jorginho, I guess,
was
experience,
brilliant. Hazard?
Yeah, and then
Willian?
like Rudiger. Players players like that. Yeah.
That's 5 or 6. I'm not to have a massive debate about it.
As leadership, we had that.
He had a lot in there.
Yeah.
He had Thiago Silva, mate.
Yeah.
They haven't even got Thiago Silva, mate. De Ligt's brilliant for them at their level. Tuchel's not going to go in there and say, I've just managed PSG, England to a World Cup, which is a miracle.
You give him a quarter
I'm
of a
going
billion.
to this dead squad.
You give him a £250 million as well.
It's not enough. In modern football, that buys you 2 players. That buys you Belabor from Brighton, potentially, and, Wirtz.
So you see no...
They don't deserve Tuchel.
Who do you want, Hayden, to be your long-term manager?
I think Tuchel's a good option. I think there is those 3 names that you said would be a dream, right? Zidane, Enrique, Tuchel. But I honestly, I think that both of you are correct, right? It has to be a world-class manager like we just described. And Buvey is also correct. It has to be investments into key positions that currently are not good enough. And like I said, like we're not going to win the league next year. We are not going to win the league 2 years from now, not even 3 years from now. The idea is that a manager needs to come in with the idea that they are going to be there for 4 to 5 years, and in that 4th or 5th year is the year that they can conceivably challenge for a title, similar, like I described, to the Arsenal model with Arteta. You cannot say that this squad is good enough to challenge, and you cannot say that any manager, Alex Ferguson could come in and maybe would get close to a title. I mean, I'm the biggest Alex Ferguson fan in this chat right now, and I would even say
he doesn't win a league. He doesn't win a league with this squad of players. He doesn't win a league.
That's the key. Is you need to understand that the position you're in and be self-aware and understand that this is not an overnight thing. And you might want to be Manchester United. You might want to be this big club that wins things. That's not going to happen. You need to accept the fate that you have right now and go forward with a mentality of it can be fixed through a methodical process and making all the right decisions. And so that was actually my topic coming in today, is that United under Ineos have made mostly the right decisions, but at the wrong times for the club. And I think that is showing itself now, in the sense that as bad as it is, we're still in the top half of the table, still only 3 points off of 4th, still fighting for a Champions League spot with how bad it's gone. And getting rid of Amorim was the right thing to do. I don't think it was done at the right time. I think it should have been done sooner. And I think doing it because he spoke out against the board is the wrong way to do it. But again, it was the right thing in the end to get rid of him. So I don't care why you did it. I don't think it was the right way to do it, but it's done and it was correct.
You're very good. Where are you? Where are you? You're in the States, right?
In the US.
You're Ken Kniff. Ken Kniff from Connecticut.
No, I'm not sure what Ken Kniff is, but no, I'm from Connecticut. Yes, I'm speaking right outside of Hartford.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mate, you speak very well. This is like, I kind of agree with every word you said.
I appreciate that. I've actually spoken to you guys before, and I feel as though it went well. So I like coming on here and talking to you guys because I think you're level-headed, and I think it's good chat, you know?
Amazing. Really good to talk to you, Hayden. Insightful stuff, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Good caller. Good caller.
Too apologetic for the monstrosity which is Manchester United right now. They're close to Marco Silva and Zidane.
No, but he's right.
They are, aren't they?
But no,
what you want about
he was optimistic with managers, but in fairness, I brought them up. Where I thought he was very good is where he was talking. He wasn't doing the irrational, we're going to win the league next season.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Spoke about a 5-year plan.
They got a dead squad. They're closer to Marco Silva. They should be happy to get Marco Silva, a young, promising manager that beat them in the FA Cup last season with Fulham. They're closer to Marco Silva than any of these guys. Luis Enrique have a day off. Seriously, Roars.
Wait. I know I said that it's time to almost redefine who they are. But if Manchester United do get into the Champions League this year, they can still attract top-tier players and managers.
There's a real ceiling to it. I don't think Tuchel goes there. I think they're Eddie Howe, Marco Silva, Iriola.
Really?
Conte from Napoli. I'd look at him. Look, 3-4-3. It's a different system. Glasner. That's not a bad level to say Glasner.
Conte's elite. Conte's not in the same. Yeah,
but because of the European form, he's not quite Tuchel in the same way. I'd say, or Guardiola.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, Luis Enrique won the first treble in the history of French football, playing the most audacious brand of football.
Yeah.
These guys aren't even a Champions League club, Roars. They lost to Grimsby.
I think you're probably correct. Weirdly, I think you're probably correct. Let's see if Jacko is a Chelsea fan. Jacko, what is going on, mate? Tell me. It's horrific, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so bad, Rory. It's honestly, I never saw this coming after the November that we had, and yeah, we're just in turmoil.
What happened against Fulham, lads? Tell me, because I don't watch the entirety of the game live. I was watching other things.
You know exactly what happened, Buvey.
No, but what went wrong on a footballing level?
Okay, I've got a theory.
What did Rosina get wrong?
I've got a theory, and it isn't down to one game, but it's a microcosm in one game. Discipline.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Discipline. Yeah. Mate, how many times this season? Brighton at home, down to 10 men. Arsenal at home, down to 10 men. Man United away, down to 10 men. Yeah. One of the games in Europe, down to 10 men. Enzo Maresca himself getting sent off, getting banned. There is no discipline. The second that Burke Cucurella gets himself sent off, game over. Don't you reckon?
You have to take the risk of conceding and going 1-0 down. It's like it's so much more like neither situation is good, but out of the two, going 1-0 down that early, you have time to get it back. You have time to find an equalizer with 11 men. But if you're down to 10 men inside 20 minutes, it's just not acceptable. Like it's just terrible. Like, yeah.
Where do you think you'll finish this season with Rosinia?
The appointment, it's a downgrade. It's a clear, it's somehow a downgrade on Maresca, and that's just how this ownership is. It's in the summer, Maresca wanted a centre back. He came out openly, said he needed a centre back after Colwell got injured, and in what our board does and who we end up signing is Garnacho and Gittins, and like, we just aren't a serious club anymore. Like, it just actually just baffles me. If we were any bit near of a serious club, we would have gone out and looked at Mark Guehi and done everything that we could in.
What happens from here, Jacko? What's the future for Chelsea this season? What do you honestly believe happens now?
My honest opinion, and like, I hate being this negative because I'm usually like the most optimistic and like positive fan, but I honestly think that I can't see us getting Champions League football now unless we go into this window and make about
that's not
2 or 3, and we're just not going to do that. Like, Joe, there's not going to be. I don't even think there's going to.
But you'll finish high. You're 8th at the moment. Do you finish above Brentford? Yes, I think you'll eventually get there above them. Manchester United, you finish above them?
No, we won't.
Okay, you don't finish above Man United.
We won't finish above Man United.
Fine. Do you finish above Newcastle United?
No, we won't finish above Newcastle.
And you won't finish above Liverpool?
No.
So really, there's 4 clubs: Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, Brentford, potentially.
No.
Maybe a Tottenham if they catch up. Palace going for top 5.
Let's just think, though. The one thing that this ownership, incorrectly in my opinion, but the one thing that they deem to be success is Champions League qualification. So I am surprised that they're going to jeopardise that, because that is the one thing. Like, I don't see that as success. I really don't. I'd rather win the FA Cup. But I know they won't see it that way.
Yeah. Maybe you need a blow up. Maybe you need Liam Rosini to really be out of his depth. Some guys, some football fans, they say, I'd rather get relegated from the Championship out of the Premier League down to League One and restart again. That happened to Southampton. They restarted, they came back up, and they survived in the Premier League. They thrived with Pochettino.
I'll tell you what could happen. What do you think of this, Jacko? I think that if Rosini doesn't work, it could be the end of Eghbali's plans. This is the final option that he has to get it right.
Yeah, there'll be pressure internally.
I kind of like our fans now, the away fans from like last night now, they did so well in what they were doing, getting the chance out and everything. Like, credit to like everyone that went to that game. I obviously want us to like have a successful end to the season, but if it meant to get Eghbali out and to get this ownership out, I would nearly like take that in a way, which is a crazy.
But they're not leaving, mate. Honestly, you have to,
they might not be leaving. Well, they might leave, but they probably won't. You're right. But what they could do, the same as leaving, is to just move. Just stop with this nonsense procedure. Just this strategy. Just amend it. Go and sign a 29-year-old.
Get good players, good manager. Football's a simple game. You stick a ball between 2 posts. That's a simple game, football.
What a crazy thing that the ownership came out with. It said is that with the Carabao, the League Cup, they said that it's not like a priority to win that, and it's not. If they get to the final and win it, then it's like an added bonus. But it's like,
because you don't make any money.
That's just
Jacko. The most damaging thing that anyone can ever read about you. If we say this and you haven't seen the quote, it sounds like a lie. It sounds like hyperbole. It sounds like YouTubers catastrophizing. But Jose Feliciano, I mentioned this on the podcast that Buvey and I did the other day. Jose Feliciano, co-owner of Blueco, therefore co-owner of Chelsea, he said that the point of Chelsea is to be a business, and a business that makes money. He then said that happens incidental of what happens on the pitch. He said that you become a sporting, profitable brand almost irrespective of winning or losing on the pitch.
Yeah, it's just so disgusting to hear that. Like, it's just like, it's so disheartening for just Chelsea fans.
I can't believe he said it out loud. Like, just for the
It's-
PR of this, like, they're clever people.
Yeah.
Just for the PR.
These guys don't care. We're in
They
a
don't
strange
care.
world where even Amarin, some of the comments that he's
He didn't
made
care.
and the way he's smiling after getting sacked.
Yeah.
There's an apathy in modern football that's very
it's
scary.
so bad that Maresca literally walked out on like he could have got 15.
He didn't get the money. I know.
As a compensation pack, and he basically didn't. He decided no. Like that's just crazy again to me. Like
Who should Man City look into signing? Jacko from Chelsea, Akinpong, 20 mil, Reece James. I'd get Cole Palmer back.
Mate, I'll tell you who's a really good player, would really help you out. Great player. One of the best I've ever seen at Stamford Bridge. Jamie Gittins. You want to go for him, mate? Spend big money on him.
Can't believe how bad he is.
Yeah. What's going to happen, Jacko? We're going to lose Cole Palmer and Caicedo and that.
I could see a scenario where Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, and Cucurella, if we don't get Champions League football, will all. Reece James is like the only one where I could see him staying, but it's just again, it baffles me. It really does. Yeah.
Painful.
Sorry to hear, mate. Happy 2026. Stick to your New Year's resolutions. Don't let the football affect your New Year's resolutions, whatever they may be. Don't let football affect your life, man. There's more to life than football and Chelsea. Seriously. Thanks for the call, mate. I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much. Bye, guys. All the best.
We've got Jeff, Manchester City fan. Hello.
Jeff Shreves?
Joe.
No, that's a different way of spelling it. That's Jeff from
Jeff
Peep
Winter.
Show.
Jeff Winter.
From Peep Show.
Jeff Winter.
Is it Jeff from Peep Show?
No, it's Jeff Winter. Do you remember that?
You ever been down to the Croydon council flat they live in?
No.
You might have driven past.
I don't think I've ever been to Croydon unless Chelsea are playing Palace in my life. But I wasn't a huge Peep Show man.
It ended a bit flat, but the first few seasons were genius.
Clever.
Genius.
Yeah, very clever. Jeffrey.
Yeah, just call me Jeff. It's fine. I wanted to talk about Haaland. In honor of him scoring 150 goals in 173 games, as it is now. I have this feeling, and I've been having this since he came into City, and I've watched him play for Dortmund, I've watched him play for Salzburg, and everything, and it just feels like there's something about his legacy right now, and that might actually tarnish it in some way in terms of how you will look at a player like him, with the way that, especially the way City is playing now, because now all of a sudden with the past 3 games, it's like he should be doing better, but it's like, is it he that should be doing all the better, or should the team also be doing better overall?
You look for your superstars though, don't you, to rescue a victory? When it's 1-1 against Brighton, like Mitoma scored, you kind of go, right, how does City get out of jail now?
You watch the game, you see the chance he had at the end?
Yeah. I know.
I was nearly sick, mate.
I can't believe it.
Seriously, I nearly projectile vomited all over my TV, mate. I couldn't believe it.
It's not the chance for him to miss that either.
9 yards out, and he had a run up. It wasn't like a snatch at his feet. He was flat footed. I was nearly sick. I was so angry. It's the worst thing I've seen him do since shirking the penalty a year ago. I agree with Jeff's point. I do.
No, what do you think? Do you think that Haaland doesn't get the respect he deserves, though, or do you think that he gets the right respect?
It's kind of weird, because everybody's gone the round of saying all the words has been said about him, because he's done something so quickly, so good, that people are kind of like, okay, but what's more? Like, there's just this in between place here that I just cannot make sense of, because it's like Buvey saying is that he should have been doing better. He should have won because he is the striker that he is. But at the same time, I've seen multiple games, time after time with City, since even in treble winning season, where he has to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait to get 2 decent chances throughout the whole 90 minutes. And it's like, why? Like, isn't his output and his efficiency so great that you should be even doing it more often even?
I have to say it's one of the most interesting points and concise points I've ever had on the show, to be honest, because it's what I've felt for the last couple of years. He's both criminally underrated by football fans for how good he is, and then I've been on shows before, I've been slagged off for saying this. I've gone, he should be scoring more, and then people go, selfish City fan and you don't know, you're so lucky to have him. He's so good. He should be scoring 50 goals a season like he did in his first season in all comps. He should have scored them the season after. He should be on he should be on more goals.
Is it
The
this?
chance against Brighton he scored in the game against Brighton. He's the leading goal scorer by a country mile in the Premier League. He should be on 40 Premier League goals right now based on chances.
Do you think that the debate is never around volume of goals? Because the volume is there. Do you think that the debate is around significance of goals? Do you think like when the chance fell to him in the Brighton game, must score. It's a must score chance. Almost arguably, your season depends on you scoring that opportunity, and you miss it.
Cup finals,
yeah.
He didn't. I don't think he scored against Real Madrid. I don't think he scored against Real Madrid. He didn't score against Man United in the cup final.
No.
Obviously, didn't score against.
I don't think
he's played
scored
3 FA Cup finals. He hasn't scored in an FA Cup final yet. Didn't score in the Champions League final. His role in that side is still very, very good and underrated. He brings people into play. He was actually kind of defenders for Inter Milan were man marking him to such an extent that Rodri can come onto a ball and strike it and get the winning goal. But Haaland still has to improve, and that's based on the money he's on. And I'm allowed to sit here and say it because I'm not a millionaire, and he's a multi-millionaire. He's getting paid massive wages, one of the highest we've ever seen in football. He's on a 10-year contract, Wars. I'm allowed to sit here and say he should be improving.
I think you're right.
He's leaving goals on the table. When you talk about Didier Drogba, you can't sit here and really justifiably say, there's room to grow. He should have done a little bit more for Chelsea. He left everything on the pitch. He did.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't quite score enough goals here and there, but Haaland's leaving goals on the pitch.
Do you know what it is? It's what you just said. He's played in 3 FA Cup finals and scored 0. Didier Drogba became the first ever player to score in 4 different FA Cup finals, didn't he?
4.
He scored in
with
4.
Different managers, different systems.
Different players around him, different everything.
Against what? Sir Alex Ferguson was one of them?
Yeah, definitely.
One of those Man United
the
sides?
first one back at Wembley, wasn't it? The 07 one. Yeah, he won it for us at Wembley.
Good Portsmouth side? One of them?
Yeah, I don't think he scored that day, but he scored against Everton. He scored against Everton.
I mean...
he scored in 4 different FA Cup finals. So against Liverpool when we won the Champions League.
Maybe he's young. Maybe we're judging him too quick. A lot of Drogba's goals came at the end of his 20s. It's not like he was banging them in for Chelsea when he was 19. Maybe Haaland still hasn't peaked.
Would you put Haaland in the top... I'm going to start low. Is he in the top 15 ever Premier League strikers?
Yeah, it has to be.
Is he in the top 10?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
Do you agree, Jeff?
Yeah, I do. But the thing, everything you just mentioned it's all fair, and I understand all of the points. But the thing is, while you're saying everything about he should be doing more in the bigger games and everything, he has an efficiency level that is nothing compared to even the only one that is better than him is Dixie Dean, and it's how can you even compare that to anything? And there's this also thing, since you brought up Rodri, it's that the stat with Rodri, when Rodri played before he got injured, if he played, City didn't lose. That was the thing that was going on and on and on again. It was this amazing run. But since Haaland came into the league and you won the treble, ever since he scored his first goal in the Premier League, it was the same stat. If Haaland scored, you didn't lose. But that was never brought up because apparently everybody was on the consensus that scoring goals is the most difficult thing to do. But he's doing it.
So where do you rate him then, Jeff? I asked Buvey the question: is he top 10 Premier League strikers of all time? Where do you have him? So top 5, top 1? Where do you see Erling Haaland in terms of Premier League legacy?
I would think he's already made his case to be in the top 10, but it's a different thing here.
He's definitely top 10.
If you're talking about longevity, if you're talking about legacy over an all-time, I'm finished playing my career in the Premier League, that I think is a different conversation. The comparisons he has now with Harry Kane, how can you compare a striker now to another striker who's played twice as many games as him? He cannot measure up to the total amount of the same level of legacy. But at the same time, we're having these discussions and comparing them right now. Who's better?
Well, I can make that pretty easy. Harry Kane never won a Premier League title, so he's ahead of Harry Kane. I think he's top 5. I think there's an argument he's top 5 Haaland, and we can still criticise him. And that's a paradox that I don't think we've solved on this call, but we've certainly addressed.
It's a great call, Jeff.
Thank you.
Great to talk to you.
Very good call. I mean, I've been thinking it for 2 years. I've been slagged off because people don't quite understand what I'm saying.
There's a nuance to the conversation. He's amazing, but he should be better. It's hard to. It's
Isn't
hard
that amazing to say
articulate that though. Yeah. I agree. Oh no, Buvey.
It's
I've got
too early in the year for
I
this.
can't talk to Hanif today.
No, too early in the year for this.
Not Hanif. Anyone but Hanif. Hanif, sir, you're live on the club. I can't do this.
How are you all doing?
Not great. Hanif, I can't talk to you today. I know you're going to be full of it.
Oh, yes. So full of it today.
Go on then. Tell me.
I think Arsenal can win the Champions League this season.
Why? You have a pitiful record in Europe. Your European jokes. Why would you think you can win the European Cup?
Well, okay, first things first. Every team hasn't won it or didn't win it until they did.
No,
So,
but some
okay,
teams
yes,
knock on the
we
door.
haven't
Some
won-
teams have good European records without necessarily getting over the line.
And last season we played well against a PSG side that eventually won the
You got
Champions.
smashed by PSG.
We made it to the final.
That was the first time
We didn't get
that was the first
You did
time
get
in
smashed.
decades.
You got smashed.
First time in decades.
You got Rick rolled.
You got Rick Rost.
Currently, we stand at the top of the Champions.
So did Liverpool. They got
comfortably
knocked out in the
at
round of
Champions
16.
table.
So did Liverpool.
Don't come on here giving it the big and Hanif about Arsenal in Europe.
Currently, right now, if you take the most likely or the best teams in Europe right now, man for man, we have a better team than them.
Who?
Man for man,
PSG?
with yes.
Can we hang up?
Hanif.
PSG.
Hanif, mate.
You've got a Ballon d'Or winner.
Do you live in London?
No.
I was going to say, you got to come on the club one day.
I don't want to hang up on you, mate, but they got I mean, both their fullbacks are better than yours. Easy. Pacho starts for you. Easy. The midfield three are all better than Declan Rice and Zubi-Doo. Of course they are.
I don't know about that.
Fabian Ruiz, Neves, Vitinha's going to Real Madrid, mate. So the three's better,
Listen,
and Dembele starts for Arsenal.
Hanif,
Come on.
not Europe, mate. Call up and give it the big and domestically. But in Europe, you are a pitiful joke.
Marquinhos is better than Saliba. 100%. Easy.
Not right
Kvaratskhelia is better than Martinelli. Yeah?
Yeah?
That's
Okay,
facts.
fair enough.
Due's
Martinelli's
better than
performed
Saka.
his life around
Facts.
the Champions League.
Due's better than
Hanif,
Saka.
is Ousmane Dembele better than
Yes.
Gyökeres?
Yes.
So the whole 11.
I want to invite Hanif on.
Maybe. All right.
it wasn't-
We've got
it's
the
not
11
the
on the
whole
screen.
11.
Declan Rice
Declan
starts for that
Rice-
midfield
Declan
over. I don't know. No.
Neves?
No.
Rice
Neves?
over Neves, I think.
No. Sorry, Royce. I don't give you that. I
Both-
can't give you
both
that,
of us
mate.
are- both
You
of
know,
us
no,
are
I
right.
can't.
Ruiz,
You
Fabian.
just won the European Championship against Declan Rice. No. Chevier. Yeah. David Raya starts for PSG. Fine. I agree with that.
Raya, both of our centre backs, and
No.
No, Marquinhos gets in, I think.
No. Sorry.
Marquinhos
I'm trying to
gets
be
in.
open. I'm trying to be open here. Both fullbacks. Nuno Mendes is the best. He might be the best player in the world in his individual position in terms of competition. There's no one near Mendes.
Hanif, don't give it a big one about Europe, mate. You need to. There's
You
a
don't even
food
won a
chain.
milk cup yet.
There's a food chain.
You've not even beaten Chelsea.
Hey, you're looking at Alan Smith was the goal scorer the last time you won in Europe. Alan Smith. There has been a whole new player called Alan Smith who has been a Premier League player since the Alan Smith that scored the goal for you. That's how long ago it was.
I just don't get how we're being dismissed so quickly.
Because
like
your
this.
European
Like, it's not
record.
even a conversation.
Because your
Everyone
European
was
record is a
sweating
joke.
Last season after we beat Madrid.
Yeah, it's a one-off. It's an anomaly. Tottenham got to a final once, so I'm not scared of them in Europe either. You are more. What stage of the competition do Arsenal go out?
This season,
Yeah.
we make it to the final this season.
I agree. I kind of agree with that.
No.
But they'll meet someone that they won't be able to.
In the semi,
You can't. Royce, you can't win the Champions League throwing it into the net.
In
You
the-
can't win the Champions League cornering it into the net.
at some
Fuck's
point,
sake.
they come up against.
Real Madrid, even they're not great now.
Mate,
They'd smash
If
these
they
guys.
came up
Barca.
against, if they came up against Man City,
Yeah.
in the Champions League,
Chelsea.
we'd beat them in the Champions League.
Well, Liam
No, maybe
Rosini.
not. Maybe not anymore.
Imagine Liam Rosini in the Champions League final.
The current state of City right now would tear them to shreds in the Champions
You've
League.
never won a
Home and
Champions
away.
League. You've never won a Champions League.
Mate, Bayern Munich beat you in the Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain beat you in the Champions League. Man City beat you in the
We just
Champions League.
dispatched off Bayern easily.
Real Madrid beat you in the Champions League. Liverpool beat you in the Champions
Atletico
League.
Madrid.
Dispatched
Atletico
off
Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid.
We also just dispatched
Barcelona beat you in the Champions League. Barcelona beat you in the
They've
Champions
been in
League.
more European Championship finals than you. Atletico Madrid. They've been in 2. You've been in 1, and you lost
I
it
think
in Paris.
Napoli beat you in the Champions
You
League.
lost it in Paris. Remember Paris?
If they got Napoli home and away in the quarterfinals, who wins?
Arsenal. I want to be
How
with you,
can you
Royce.
say
I want
Atletico?
to
How
be
can
there
you
with
say
you.
Atletico Madrid? Well, they beat Atletico Madrid 4-1.
But I think they've been to 2 Champions League finals. Napoli have never been to a Champions League final.
history. I understand.
I think you do really well to get
it's
beyond the
valuable.
quarters.
And European pedigree, it means something and it matters. I agree, but to hold it to such a high level above the fact that we are objectively one of, if not the best team in Europe.
You're not the best team in Europe. In the last 20 years of the Champions League, there must be 2 new winners. It's been Real Madrid, 7, Barca, 5, City are a new winner. Porto, if we count them in the last 20 years, are a new winner. Man United had already won it in the 60s. Chelsea had won it twice. Chelsea were new winners in 2012 as well.
New winners in 2012. 2012
Bayern aren't new winners. AC Milan aren't new winners. Like, there aren't new winners, really. I think you'll be very lucky this decade to even get to a final, let alone win it. I don't think you win it in my lifetime. I'm a little bit older than you.
Telling you, Arsenal have the materials to win the Champions League this season. It's
got the minerals.
It shouldn't be this, but at least it shouldn't at least be dismissed this quickly.
I've dismissed it very quickly. I've no offense, I've dismissed it very quickly.
Every team you've named, we've beaten at least once. Okay, except for Barcelona.
PSG, you didn't beat them last season. You lost to them last season, mate.
We beat them 2-0 in the group stage, though.
And
we gave them good games. And we gave them good games in the semi-final.
And if there's a food chain, mate.
Group stage wars. You win it in the group stage.
Do you know what this is like? This is like plankton telling me that they can eat a blue whale. It exists the other way around. You are the minnows. The food chain. You aren't top tier in this conversation. Are you going to win the league? Probably.
You're a main course of PSG. Nothing more, nothing less, mate. You're a main course.
Mate, do you know what? You're so wrong about this. There are teams, when the draw gets down to the last 8, people want to play Arsenal.
They don't. I'm telling you, they don't. Even in the Champions League,
mate. You know when you were like invincible. You loved banging on about that. You know, Claudio Ranieri launched you out the European Cup, and that's when you were invincible. You get done by Chelsea in the European Cup.
That is fair.
Like again, when you were invincible, Thierry Henry, the best player in the world. Claudio Ranieri at Chelsea beat you in the Champions League. City would beat Arsenal home and away in Europe.
Yeah, I agree.
City would beat Arsenal.
Hanif, Happy New Year. What are your New Year's resolutions, Hanif? I've not asked anyone.
I want Hanif to come on. I want him in person.
What's it? Give me a New Year's resolution, Hanif, for you personally. What are you working towards this year? Give me a quick New Year's resolution, please.
I want to grow my own YouTube channel.
Good for you.
Good for you, Hanif.
Yeah, good for you.
And I tell you what, the first thing to do, stop nonsense takes about Arsenal winning the Champions League.
Rory, come on. Rory, be your first guest.
I'll tell you what, Hanif, I'll do it. I'll make a deal with you. I'll make a deal.
Yeah.
Okay? If you get to 1,500 subscribers off your own back, if you want to do a collab with me, it would be my honour.
That's a good deal. Thank you.
Mate, I look forward to the collab, and good luck with the YouTube channel, mate. And I'll tell you what, if Arsenal win the Champions League, you come on the show with us.
Yeah, if you win the Champions League, come on.
You come and you sit right in the middle, and mate, me and you will have to eat some humble pie that day.
We'll pay your expenses.
Happy New Year, Hanif, mate. Great to talk to you.
Happy New Year to you guys too.
Cheers, mate.
Right, so we move on to the voice notes.
Let's do it.
Just to let everybody know, if you want to get in touch, but maybe the timings don't necessarily work for you, you could send in a voice note and we could react to it. Just click the link in the Discord below. You'll find out exactly how to do it there. And we could be listening and reacting to your voice note just as we are about to do to these. Let's play the first one.
Hello, guys. I hope you're doing well. My name is Akshay and I'm from Tanzania. And today what I'd like you all to discuss is, we all know that one of the greatest achievements in club football is winning a treble. And around 10 teams have won it collectively for around 12 or 13 times. What I'd like for you guys to discuss on is rank all those trebles in order. Meaning, which team among those treble winners stands out on top among the elite? So the cream of the cream. Which team ranks first? Which team will rank 10th or 12th, depending upon if you choose it club-wise or you choose it winners-wise. So yeah, cheers. Hope you guys have fun.
It's a great voice.
Great shout.
Celtic the first?
Lisbon Lions. Did they do a treble that year?
I think so.
What, 67?
I think Celtic are the first treble winners. I might be wrong about that,
did they do a
but
treble
they
in
come to
60?
mind.
I'm not sure if they did a treble with the Celtic side.
Celtic have done a treble.
Did they? No, they've what,
Maybe
including the European Cup.
I think so.
So they've only won the European Cup once. So that would be
maybe
60,
fact check that.
67. I don't know.
Of our era that I can recall, I mean, the first people don't talk about this enough. The first treble in Spanish football history was Pep Guardiola's first ever season as manager. I mean, come on, we don't talk about it enough, Rory.
Okay. In terms of the most historic, then Celtic in '67, the Lisbon Lions. Do you know? We'll have to check the facts on this, but I think it could be the best one ever. Do you know why? Every player grew up within 15 miles of the stadium.
Amazing.
So you go Parkhead, 15 miles.
Amazing.
What
a story.
That's unbelievable,
What
isn't
a
it?
story. Yeah. I can't tell if they're the first. I think of the Bayern Munich side with Jupp Heynckes. They won a treble when they beat Dortmund at Wembley. Obviously, a massive travelling contingent of Germans on British soil, 80,000. And that was a very special treble. The Man United one is cinematic because of the last-minute winner from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
And the class of '92.
Yeah, that's special. And Sir Alex Ferguson, what he built there, of course. Dare I say it, on a sporting level, Bayern bottled it. I'm throwing it out there.
To a degree, they did. Yeah.
If
If you're winning a European Cup in injury time, you shouldn't then be losing it before it even goes to extra time.
If you're Bayern.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're Arsenal.
Do you think the Barcelona one, the 08-09 Barca team that beat Manchester United in Rome,
Yeah.
is it fair to say that is the best team?
The
That beats-
2011 side's slightly better because David Villa's off the left. That just looked more natural to me.
Rather
But
than
didn't win a treble. Pedro and David Villa.
Yeah.
But the one that won the treble was Thierry Henry, Sami Eto'o, Messi, and Pep Guardiola lost his first game. Right, he lost his first game in the league. There was massive pressure. Who's this guy? You know, he's a big name in terms of his footballing career, and he won a treble. And Real Madrid had never done that before, or Barcelona, or Atletico Madrid. And he played it with a brand of football that, let's be real, has been emulated for the last 25 years. It's the brand of football that won that treble. Is the brand of football of our era right now.
Yeah, I agree. What about the Inter? Mourinho. Winning in the new camp the way that they did.
With that side that was so old. Melito was old. Cambiasso was old. Maicon.
Sami Eto'o.
Sami Eto'o.
Yeah.
Cesar.
Mate, what?
Lucio.
This is amazing. Like, do you know what I'm not qualified to do? Without doing some research, do you know what we might have to do, Buvey? Should we should we treat Akshay as a producer of the channel? Park this, think about it, and make an actual video out of this.
Yeah, we should do a video.
Get Adam on it, get McKola, because I don't know enough about like the Ajax team that did it with Van Basten or whatever.
Ajax, yeah.
Let's do a proper video.
Bayern have done 2 trebles in a decade, mate.
That's unreal. 2 different managers.
So Barcelona,
as well.
actually.
2 different managers.
Yeah.
But then you have
Hansi
to weigh
Flick.
in the ease of the league.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to weigh in the ease of the league. Like, they kind of always win the league, and therefore...
Barca won 2 in 5 years.
Mate, let's come back to Akshay. Amazing voice note. Let's do this as a video when Adam's about, and we'll actually research it.
Yeah, great question.
Amazing.
Hi, guys. So first of all, happy 2026 to all of you in the studio. So my question is to do with Antoine Semenyo and his recent transfer to Man City. So this is essentially a question to do with the fact that we've seen how Jack Grealish, before he came to City, he was a very tenacious, lively, exciting player, but arguably one could say that he was sort of failed by Pep, giving into a more rigid system where his tenacity was sort of subdued. So do you think that may potentially happen to Antoine Semenyo?
Interesting. Can I ask you this, Buvey? Sasha has presented that as fact. Do you concede that it is fact? Do you think that Grealish was effectively Guardiola'd? Or do you think that Grealish was Grealished? Because we have seen other players play with exuberance under Guardiola, haven't we?
Was Grealish failed by Guardiola is the question. Not if Grealish failed under Guardiola. It's did Guardiola fail Grealish? And he absolutely did not fail Grealish. He brought him in and he won a treble, mate. And he was part of it. And there'll be football fans that slag me off saying, oh, he didn't do nothing.
He was amazing that season.
No, sorry, mate. Like, look at Matt Letizia, right? A very brilliant maverick footballer. Look at Paul Merson, who are very similar to Jack
Glorious
Grealish.
player, yeah.
Paul Gascoigne. You could go on and on. These guys will never have the career of Jack Grealish. And there'll be Southampton fans saying Matt Letizia is 10 times better than Jack Grealish. You know?
Yeah.
For right or for wrong. They'll never have the career of Jack Grealish.
Do you agree, though? Do you agree And not everybody does. But do you agree that Guardiola does clip the wings of players, or do you actually push back on that theory?
That all great athletes have to have their wings clipped by great coaches. All great. You can't just be going and doing whatever you want at the highest level of basically all sport. You have to have a coach that will limit your weaknesses and make you very good in a niche area.
Some managers don't necessarily clip your wings. The way that they get the best out of you is to allow you to. The way that Terry Venables asked Paul Gascoigne to play, it was to allow him to express.
But what did
himself.
Gascoigne achieve? I love Paul Gascoigne, obviously, as an England fan.
Maybe that's a different question.
To achieve the highest level things in football, you might need to be a bit more defensive.
Okay, I don't know enough about this, but I'm just going to try and use an example. I don't even know who the manager of Argentina was in 1986, but he most certainly did not clip Diego Maradona's wings.
No, but the entire squad was basically 4-4-1 and Maradona wherever he wants to go. So you have to limit some aspects. If you want to achieve the greatest things in the world, if Jack Grealish wants to play in the Championship against Rotherham and flick it round someone's head and do a Rabona, he could have done that. Like Adel Taarabt played a lot of his time in the Championship. But Jack Grealish has won a treble, mate.
So do you think Semenyo will flourish under Guardiola?
Yeah, because he's a brilliant footballer, works hard. Thierry Henry had his wings clipped. Like, who are we to say Semenyo has to have any right to say, don't clip my wings? This guy came from the Football League. He's happy for an unbelievable opportunity. He's worked his nuts off. He's played at Newport County, Bristol City. He's come up to Bournemouth. If Guardiola said, paint your house pink, and he'd do it for a Premier League title. These are the greatest things in football.
Would you do it?
Paint my house pink? Yeah, of course I would.
Fair.
But do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, who is Semenyo? If Henry had to clip his own wings to win a Champions League with Guardiola, who's Semenyo to say?
Fair.
And Semenyo won't, by the way. He'll do whatever. He's a brilliant footballer.
That is fair from Buvey. I've loved today. Brilliant voice notes. Brilliant callers. Favourite part of the week, this show. So thank you so much to everybody for getting involved. We really do appreciate it. If you want to be on the next show that we do, make sure that you click the link in the Discord and we could be speaking to you next time we're live. Have a wonderful time and we'll see you in a bit. Ta-da.